Yeah, just jamming out or
What's up, Kate?
nothing much. Just got back from a walk. I was gonna get an iced coffee, and then the guy in front of me was taking too long, so I turned around.
Oh, you should have grabbed your coffee, man.
That's all right. That's all right. I'll survive. I'll survive. But how you doing?
That's awesome. No, we're just jamming on a song. I've been I came across this song on TikTok, and I've been like jamming to it. I've made already several videos because I really like the beat. So,
Let's go. I love it. I love it.
so what's up? What have you done?
What have I done today?
Yeah, what you been up to today?
I did a stream, and then me and Tom ended up chatting for like 2 hours after. So we basically did like a 3 hour stream, and then I died a little bit in my beanbag for for a little bit of time, and then I've been editing a little bit of the New York City NFT NYC vlog. I'm trying to get that done. It's just such a monstrous amount of content that I got to comb through. So it's just been a whole lot of like, I don't even know, chipping away at 4 little different things. I need to focus on one thing. I'm so bad about that. I'm so ADHD. I end up bouncing from thing to thing. So that's what I've been doing.
Right. I'm the same way. I do that all the time throughout the day. So I have like a little checklist and ask me if I've done any of that. No, I have not.
Never happens.
I just do whatever's in front of me. So if I need to get a coffee, I'll get it, and then if I see something else that I need to do, I just do that. What's in front of my face. So yeah, I
Yeah,
totally get it.
I remember
So
when I was before I was doing YouTube stuff, it was so hard for me to get things done because I love watching YouTube videos. There's so many content creators that have good value to put out, and it hasn't changed at all. Now that I'm here, I'm still making videos, but I still end up there's still multiple creators I watch every day because I think they have important information that's pertinent to me. And
right.
so I end up like half my day ends up being used up by like consumption, which is good and bad, I guess, but that's how it is.
I feel that too because I consume a lot and I don't really produce. And when I do produce, I reproduce. So if I see like content that's already out there, I feel like, oh, let me make that because I feel like it's good for our community as well. So
Yeah.
definitely, definitely. So we'll get started here. It'll just be very casual. I don't know if you guys can hear me. I'm trying to test still the mic that I've been buying and kind of upgrading the things that I use, the equipment. But but yeah, just to get started, like tell us a little bit about you, your name, where are you from, how did you get into all this NFT and influencer journey?
Man, that's a super long story. That goes back probably a little bit over a decade. I started making YouTube videos in 2009, and just I didn't even know at that point in 2009 YouTube wasn't really a thing like that. It was for a couple people like Shane Dawson, Jenna Marbles, the OG Gen 0, Gen 1 YouTube fam, and so that generation was there. I wasn't really aware of that side of YouTube. I didn't know they could make money, and so I was just posting videos because I saw a couple soccer accounts. That's what I was doing at that point. Soccer was my life, and they were kind of like popping off. They made these cool free kick videos, and so I just kind of wanted to do that. So I started just doing my own soccer videos and kind of navigate my way in that sense. And that's kind of how it's always been with YouTube. It's always been like me finding a creator that I like or an account that I like and modeling myself after them because I wanted what they had, and then just like slowly did that over time. And I just sort of did that from all of middle school. I did soccer. Once I kind of graduated and finished my soccer career in college, I ended up jumping into like the bodybuilding and gym world, which is typically what happens after college athletes do their thing and they go into the gym. So I did bodybuilding and I started documenting that life for a while. That didn't really end up panning out. I didn't really like it after a while. I kind of got burnt out of the fitness life. Jumped into self-help. I don't even know, like vlog style content. Then I ended up going on a trip and documenting that trip, living in my car, traveling across the country, and trying out just basically all kinds of videos over the course of 10 years before I found NFTs. And then when I got into NFT world, spent like that summer learning everything, did that whole thing, and then eventually started making videos. I was like, man, everyone sucks. Everyone's making alpha call videos. It's not sustainable. This isn't interesting to me. Like, I feel like no one's making market updates. No one's making strategy videos. No one's making anything that's actually helpful, in my opinion. It's all geared toward like 15-year-old kids, and it's all geared toward people who need something basically. And I don't know, I was just like, I feel like I could bring in like a content creator angle toward that. And so I started doing those kind of videos, like the market updates, the strategy videos, the media stuff that no one was doing back in the bull market, because that wasn't what was in. People wanted to make the alpha calls. And I knew that at some point the market would cool down, and then everyone would start to make this kind of content, which is what happened. But I have 10 months of experience and 10 months of like making that kind of content, which is my brand now, and like the educational side. And so now at this point, like I'm thriving now because now everyone's running for the hills trying to pivot toward media, and I've got 10 months of media on them, and I'm like, there's just no way you can replace that other than being in there for 10 months. And so now I'm kind of just continuing that, honestly, just making the NFT market update videos, the reviews, and just building the brand that way on YouTube and doing podcasts with lots of people. And that's kind of where I'm at right now.
Right. That's awesome. I love that. I love that you were basically passionate about several things. And I think a lot of that is as well, like in our, I guess, demographic that I would call would be, in the ADHD demographic. I like to be multi-passionate, and I think a lot of us do whenever it comes to being creative, and having those different aspects of your life and what you've been through has kind of helped where you're at right now as well. So
yeah,
I really love it, and I love how. Tell me a little bit more about how you how you came up with the Joyage label or thing with your project. I know you have a collection as well out there.
Yeah. The Joyage. So this is the Joyage logo that my friend designed, Sarah Beth, one of my friends from home. I just told her to throw together. I liked arrows. I liked compasses. I liked these colors. I liked Zelda, and I wanted to represent like a journey. And so I gave her those things, and I said, okay, you're the artist. Do something with that. And so she put that together. First version was this. It was beautiful. So I ended up rolling with this. Most of the ones I go with are black and white. I have a couple versions where they have color. I think this actually is a sample shirt because this logo is super small on the shirt. But most of them are black and white. Logo's a little bit bigger, and it goes with my black and white photography NFT collection, which is just access keys. They're art collections that support a creator. So there's only like 50, not even 50 actually. And then those provide access to the Discord, and they're mainly just like a way to invest early in my brand. If you think I'm going to win, if you think I'm going to get to the top, then it's kind of one of those. It's like a POAP, like a proof of attendance. Like I was here at the beginning. I bought his first tokens, kind of thing. And so that's what those are really. I don't really advertise those too much. Those are more for people who really fuck with me and kind of do those extra steps to find out that I do own them. And so that's what that is. And then the Joyage honestly came from, I think it was 2020. I was COVID happened, and so everyone lost their jobs and all that. And so I was at home for a while, and I was working at a restaurant that ended up not closing on the beach, and that was my life. About half the time was just at the restaurant making money, and then the other time I didn't know what to do. No one was going out. Most of my friends, I don't even know where they were at. But I basically picked up a camera and started doing photography. That came from the thumbnails, I think. I think that's how it happened. I did thumbnails, and I was like, wait, this is fun, taking photos. And so I jumped in the photography world, and after a few months of doing that, I needed a website to have my portfolio on. And so I think I just made a website and was like, okay, I need a word. I like the word voyage. I like journey. Or no, I like the word joy. I like the word voyage. So I just combined the words. I thought it was kind of lame in the beginning. Hold on. Did I cut out? I'm switching off my Wi-Fi. I don't know if I cut out.
I had to put my phone. I had to put my phone on do not disturb because I kept getting calls. Sorry.
Oh.
But yeah, you said
No
you said you like the word joy and voyage. I love that combination. By the way, go ahead.
Thanks. Yeah, no, and I made that the word. I was actually kind of embarrassed by it. I thought it was kind of like lame. I thought it was kind of not original. But everyone else liked it, so I was like, okay, whatever. I guess it's cool. And so I rolled with that for a while, and eventually I started to like it more and more. Now I love it. It means a lot more to me now. And same with like my tattoo. Like I had this tattoo on my arm that I made up meaning when I first got it, and people were like, "What does it mean?" And I just made some bullshit up, and then over time, it kind of has grown on me. It has become what that meaning was. It's just kind of like time. But yeah, the joys just came from like I needed a word, I needed a website. I just rolled with that. It was cool. There was no particular brand behind it. I hadn't at that point taken any big chances on anything or anyone, and so yeah, I rolled with that. And over time, it became to mean something as I kind of progressed through my life, as I took chances and realized that's what my brand was all about. You know, rolling the dice yourself, trying things, and rolling with the punches. You know.
I love it. I love it. I love the little pom poms that you have on your glasses. What is it? Something that like what inspired that? You just put it together. It's really nice.
No, these are literally from Goodwill. I got these at a thrift store. I just needed a bunch of masks for
Right.
Halloween, and so I picked up like 20 masks and 20 glasses. Wore them every single day, and because I was making daily uploads, and I was making 2 videos a day usually, so I needed a different pair for every video. It was just like a fun little challenge. And I ran out of masks, and there was like 3 days left for Halloween, so I ended up wearing these because they were easy. And wore those like the last 3 days. People liked them, and they did really well for thumbnails because like when you have like a bigger key light, it kind of the reflection looks good, and it just creates like a certain look for the thumbnails. So I ended up just keeping it, and I thought it was a good brand builder. You know, people see the glasses, they recognize it, and yeah, I mean after like 10 months, now it's way more recognizable than it was in the beginning because I wear them in every video, unless it's a podcast for the most part. The only reason I'm wearing them right now is because like earlier today, like my eyes keep watering up every time like there's a light in front of me. So I don't know what it is, but I wore these in the last podcast earlier today the entire time because every time I took them off, my eyes would start watering. I don't know what's going on.
Right,
But yeah,
right.
so I usually don't wear them on podcasts.
Right. I think you just got used to wearing them too because another thing that happens also is like you may be sensitive to light and you just got so used to wearing them. It might be because of that, but
Yeah,
I really
it's
love the
possible.
idea that you have behind it where we know you because now we know you for your glasses, for
Yeah,
little pom poms that you have on there. It almost looks like a sombrero. Is that what
it
you?
is. It's a sombrero.
Okay. It's awesome. I love it. And I've seen it. I've seen it and multiple times. I just wanted to know kind of like the story behind it. But yeah, I love it. It definitely is an eye catcher. And it's amazing how you have the arrows with the joyage. It totally matches. And I just love
Oh
it.
yeah, I stuck that on there.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
one of my stickers I stuck on there. But I've had some people come at me. They're like, "That's racist." I was like, "Dude, I don't even. It's just red and yellow and green. That's why I picked it. Like it's just very noticeable and obnoxious, and so
Right.
it's whatever. Like I told Tom I was like I already filmed a canceled video. At some point, if I ever get canceled, it's just a video. I'm just gonna click publish. It's already on YouTube. Like I think maybe one person has seen it. I forget who I showed it to, but it's just like filmed on my iPhone. I'm like I'm ready. I'm ready to get canceled. I'm like I already. I mean, it's more important about like your own what's the word your intentions with anything. You know, if it's truly not that and you're not hurting anyone, it's not like I'm talking about it being like a sombrero thing. And even if it was a sombrero thing, I don't particularly know what that could be racist
Hey,
for. But I know that that's like a couple people.
you might like Mexican food. Who knows, right? Like it could mean a
Yeah,
whole lot of things. But yeah, I wouldn't really like take it as that. I think it just depends on what basically kind of people you run into because remember that everybody's opinion is a reflection of them. So I wouldn't really take it to, to heart or personal. But yeah,
yeah. I mean, there's a chance it switches. I'm not like married to. I love the glasses, but I'm not married to this. Like if
right,
there's a day where I'm like, you know what, we got to switch it up. Maybe we like go professional and we buy like I like the green. I like the green. I like the colors, but it doesn't have to be a sombrero. Like I don't care. You know, it's not one of those things. I don't think anyone else would care either. Like if like in a year we like upgraded these to where they're like some like super high tech brand, but it's just like it keeps the same colors kind of thing. Like I don't. That doesn't really matter for me. I just wear these because I have them and they're easy and people like them. So that's the story. But
right.
people loved it. Like at NYC, like everyone I hung out with ended up to getting photos with the glasses. It's so funny.
Right. I have met him on my side. He said he got to wear them for NFT NYC.
Yeah,
Man,
it
bro,
did.
you should start selling those on your shop or something because those are like your icon, your label. So
They're
yeah,
not. You can't find them online. I've searched. I had to literally search for weeks to find one pair. I found 2 pairs left. They're sold out everywhere. Like they don't. I don't think they make them anymore, which is why they're hard to get. They're in a random thrift store when I first got them, and I was able to buy one more pair, and I own it. It's somewhere in like a desk or something up there, and it's the only one I've been able to find online. Like I don't know, maybe I just like searched the wrong time of year, but I could not find them anywhere for some reason. So to my knowledge, I've got the two on Earth. I've got the two left on Earth.
Well, you can also like do something like in the like area that I'm also doing. So I have like a whole collection of glasses, and I've already had people ask me, where did you get your glasses? So I will be possibly patenting a style in particular, and then have them on my website, because that's your signature. So you might want to patent it to where you can get with like a company or something that can make them specifically for you. But of course, it'll take research and stuff like that too. But the
Yeah, yeah.
possibilities are endless. They're endless. So
Right. That's funny. But maybe we'll see. We'll see what happens. Maybe we'll do it. I love the green shading. We'll see what happens.
yeah, I totally encourage you to do it. And also, like, if you need help, yeah, reach out. I mean, I am an entrepreneur during the day. So I do have like I am a photographer. I do have the NFT project in the business, which is the shirts. But I kind of incorporated both together after finding an NFT world. Definitely the possibilities are endless with any of these things. So I am very humbled to and fortunate to be able to connect with you and being able to have you in in the in the live here, as everybody in the
Cool.
comments says as well. So
That's
another
awesome.
question. Do you where do you see yourself in a couple years, in a few years, in with all this NFTs project and stuff?
Where do I see myself, or where do I see the NFTs?
Where do you see yourself, like with your brand, with your project, with everything that you're working on right now?
I see myself in the podcasting realm. That's the podcasting realm is where I'm the most comfortable, where I love doing, and so I know it'll be in the podcasting realm. I've secured some of the biggest um, interviews in the space so far in this year, and I've kind of branded myself as that person. And so I think it may actually turn into some style of a more authentic kind of late night show type deal, like how people come on to like Jimmy Fallon to promote their book kind of thing. Like I thought it'd be kind of cool to maybe incorporate that. Like as I get bigger in the space, people will reach out for the podcast, which they're doing now, but I assume it'd be bigger once my brand is bigger too. And we can kind of line those up with some announcement they have coming out or some kind of thing that they're doing that's really cool. I've done it for a couple of projects. I think that'd be kind of fun. So I mean, the next in 5 to 20 years, it's hard to know. Like in 20 years, I should not be in the NFT space still. I mean, I'll still have NFTs as a core foundation, but I should be well on my way out into the mainstream podcasting realm as long as I'm going where I think I will be. In the 5 years, it's just to build right now my own IP. It's not anything. There's nothing else I could do for a 5 year thing. It's just building my name, build the IP, build the brand of the glasses and the Joy Age. And to talk about that more is it's gonna be a scale. Right now, there's a clear path to winning social media, and that is basically the second you can hire on an editor and a person who can put out videos for you, just to literally start posting like 30 to 50 videos a day on TikTok and short form like Instagram Reels and stuff like that. I mean, everyone is blowing up like that. Like Betty Cooper is blowing up. That fucking bald dude Andrew Tate is blowing up He's literally seeing. I see him like every 2 seconds. Like he's literally everywhere, and he's got like hundreds of little 14-year-old kids reposting all this shit. But that's the answer right now. It's just volume and volume and volume and volume. And as long as you have in my opinion, if you have a good message and you incorporate that style of just like volume, then you get something really special, and you can really fly to the top. I don't know how long that social media wave of just volume, volume, volume will stay, but currently that's the way to do it. And so right now, that's like my goal is to, as soon as possible, onboard someone like that who understands my brand and it can also edit in that sense, and to where I can bring them on like full time or something. Eventually, that'd be great.
Right. That's amazing. Yeah. Once you kind of build up, and it gets easier as you go, right? Because you start building, you start being able to onboard people into your team and help you out. That's in itself is going to ease your load as well of editing and posting. So what's your go-to
Yeah, yeah.
what's your go-to on as far as like for people out there that want to build a podcast or anything, what's your go-to on the kind of software that you use to edit or I guess equipment, I would say.
Yeah. I mean, you don't need any equipment in the beginning. I had a camera, but if you don't have a camera, you just start with your phone. Just get a camera, get a mic. I would spend more money on the mic than the camera. Well, actually, I don't know. That's not true. Maybe I would spend more money on a camera, but you can spend like $1,000, which is expensive, but in the realm of cameras, it's actually not bad at all. You can get like a G7X for like vlogging style, or if you want to get a better sit down camera, I'm a big fan of the Sony A6400. It's like $900. It's baller. You can get a video mic, or you can get a podcasting mic for a couple $100. Stick that up, and video mics are easier in the beginning because you don't have to sync up audio and video. It just automatically connects to your video. And then I roll with Final Cut Pro. It's just a one-time fee. At least when I bought it, it was like $300 forever. Adobe Premiere you can buy, but it's like a rolling payment every month. It's like $30. It's fucking ridiculous. And plus, they have updates every couple weeks, and there's just like it'll just shut you out for hours on end. It makes no sense. I'm like, I don't get how people work on that. If you're in the middle of a project due tomorrow, and then Adobe shuts down for 5 hours, I just don't understand how that works. So I've always rolled Final Cut Pro. You can, if you're doing podcasts though, you don't need Final Cut. You can use iMovie or literally nothing. Half the podcasts I do, I don't edit anything, especially if they're live. I love doing my podcast live because I don't have to do anything. I just post it. It's done.
Right.
As soon as we click finish, it's uploaded. It's good to go. So I love doing it that way. I like doing it on YouTube. I've always told people, and since the beginning of my show, and I think the very, very beginning of 2021 when I started it, it was always going to be a show. Like, even if it's just myself, the goal is to make it, it's always video. And so I just believe in that. I think if you believe in yourself as a content creator, then I think video is 100 times more powerful than just an audio version. And then, yeah, I think you just start filming videos. For me, I filmed by myself at the beginning just to vent and talk about stuff to get it off my chest and get it out of my head. And then I did a couple of interviews with friends, and I really loved it. And that's when I kind of sparked in my head. I was like, oh, this is something I could do like forever. I love doing this. And so I treated every single podcast as practice towards interviewing a CEO one day. And then I remember like 6 months ago, or I don't know how long ago it was, the CEO of Bungie Project reached out, Doodles reached out, and I was like, whoa, okay. And then I didn't shit myself in that podcast. And I was like, great. So all that experience is like paying off. I can hold my own in there. And at that point, see you later, ETH Cream Truck. I appreciate you. At that point, I was like, okay, I can do this. Now I just have to build and just get more and bigger podcasts under my belt, and then continue. And that's really it. And then you draw your confidence from those places that you've grown from. If podcasting is something you're good at, and if it's something you enjoy, then that's one way you can like kind of cure your imposter syndrome, which is what I did. Once I started getting good at stuff, and realizing I was good at it, and then tapping into my potential there, and seeing respect from people that I respected, saying, "Hey, you're doing good stuff. We like it." Then you can draw confidence from that, and it allows you to feel a little bit more comfortable in your own shoes, and then that just propels you even more and more and more and more, and then you just keep going.
Right, right. Yeah, I think I agree with that as well. I prefer like the face to face. I prefer like the video because you get to see it's more like interactive, right? Versus like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
a Twitter space, you could just hear people. You don't, you can't really interact as the same way. So what would be like a good let's say, everything's virtual right now, right? So how do you reach out to those that you want to kind of get in your podcast or in your interviews in person? Do you do any in-person ones?
No, I mean unless they're right here. Like I know a couple people in Seattle, and like I know the guy throwing NFT Seattle, Mark. Me and him are friends, so we're gonna do a podcast in the studio just because we're here. But I mean, I'm not. I mean, unless I mean that would be something when I'm rich. Yeah, I'd be able to fly everybody out every time I do a show. I'd love to do it in person if I could, but the reality is most people wouldn't be able to fly somewhere just for a podcast, or I wouldn't be able to fly them out every time. I think that's something that comes as you get bigger and bigger, and you have more money, and if you're able to use that as like a tax write-off, or like I don't know, something like
Right.
that. But right now, not much in person. It's almost all virtual. It's just easier. It's just way more simple right now. So
Yes, this is Lady Boss Leader and Kate here. Someone in my comments was asking, Mama Moxie was asking, yes, this is Lady Boss Leader here. And this is Cade here. His brand Voyage, Joyage. I'm sorry, if you will. And we're talking about his journey and his podcast and YouTube channel as well. So anybody is welcome to ask any questions if you guys have any questions. But yeah, Cade. So how did NFT NYC go? I've been asking that to everybody. Did you like it?
It was amazing. Yeah, I
It was
loved it. I didn't
amazing.
go to any of the conference series. I didn't go to any. I heard that was fucking miserable. Everybody I know hated it. The conference part, it was
Right.
empty. No one went. People who did went hated it and left. Like I saw all the photos. I saw videos. People in there. There was like 10% attendance at most in any of the talks because it turned into a shill fest. Everyone was just there to pitch their content. There was 1,500 speakers, which is absolutely ridiculous. It just turned into the most capitalistic environment as it could for that. And so I think all the content creators stayed away. I mean, I was with a lot of the YouTubers first couple of days, and I was with all the TikTokers the next couple of days. And then I ended up hanging out with a lot of my individual friends, just like whatever I could eat, like lunch or hang out and get a coffee or whatever. But the first 2 days was wild. You know, I showed up with the YouTubers. They had all these connections to people and got into all these VIP things. So I was just rolling with them. I was like, all right, whatever. And so that was good to know. That's good. I didn't know that was going to happen. I didn't know what to do. I showed up with no schedule, no anything. I had a few things I signed up for, but I didn't remember what I signed up for. And everyone I wanted to meet was like, "Well, I'll be at this event, I'll be at that event." I'm like, "Dude, I don't even, whatever. Like, hopefully I'll see you or something." And so I just kind of showed up, and the goal was to meet my friends that I'd been conversing with online for so long. And like, that was my only goal. I didn't care about going to the events. I would go if I could, but the goal was to meet my friends who were there online. Like, that was the only thing I was there for. There's a couple business meetings I wanted to get done while I was there as well with people who I wanted to see in person. But the majority was to see my friends, and so I was able to hang out there for a good bit of time. The YouTuber friends first couple of days, met all the TikTokers at the Ledger event that Katie Brooklyn NFTs put on, which was so much fun. Um, and yeah, I got to hang out with them. I got to have lunch with Katie and Shauna and Blue Moon, and so that was fun. And I was able to meet like one of my first ever NFT collector, Fidel. He's like one of the biggest photographers in the space. He ended up picking my art up and shilling me like back in last June or something like that. And so he got me into the space. We've been friends ever since. And I was able to hang out with him for a little bit and smoke a joint together, which is fucking
Right.
awesome. And dude, the guy is like 7 feet tall. Like I saw him and I hugged him and I thought I was like hugging God or something. I was like, oh.
Oh,
So it was
like
awesome.
a
Yeah, it
big
was really
tall
cool.
teddy bear, right?
Literally, guy was massive. It was so funny, but it was so great to see him. It was so amazing. He's like one of my idols. I look up to him so much. He's just a tremendous dude. Really, really respect that guy. And then that same day, just by accident, I ended up dropping him off at his event. We ended up walking to his event. Like it was so he was so busy the whole time because he's just one of those photographers that everyone's trying to get his attention. So basically, we met up just to go walk somewhere and walk and talk and smoke. And I dropped him off at his event, and I was going to walk back, and I turned around and realized Doodles and the Cool Man event was right next door to me. So I went into the Cool Man's because I'm a holder, and ended up chatting with Dan, the founder there, for a few minutes. Apparently, he watches some of my videos, so I was really excited to hear that and talk to him for a little bit, and that was really, really fun. And then my phone died, and I remember I called Bryce, my community manager, I was rolling with right before, and I was like, dude, I need you to come to me right now. Like, my phone is dead, and it's going to be dead in 30 seconds. Please find me. I'm going to stay here. And yeah, thank God he found me. He had my portable charger. I forgot he had it with him, and so I was like totally screwed. I literally texted him as soon as I clicked send. My phone died, and I was like, well, hopefully he got that text, and so he did. He
Yeah.
saved my life, which was amazing. And so I had a wonderful time. It was incredible. It was probably one of the best, the highlights of like my entire life, probably right there. It was incredible. I don't know if it'll ever be like that again. You know, I have no idea if NFT NYC next year will be like that. I don't know if projects will have the kind of money to throw on those events again. I don't know what to expect. I don't know if the content creators will be here in a year. You know, a lot of people fall off. A lot of people start and are, a lot of people who started when I started back in doing NFT content, at least in September, they're not around anymore, and it's surprising. But you never know. So I wanted to just make sure I was very present and I was filming and documenting, but not getting lost in the filming. Just making sure I was just documenting what I was doing, and it was a great time. So I'm really excited to edit that video and to be able to show it to people and see them, have them see what it was like for me through my own eyes, because I really had my camera on me 24/7. I just filmed stuff. I didn't even really pay attention to what I was filming. I was just filming whatever I was at, and it was a great time.
Right. So, so yeah, you're totally right. You have a point where I kind of have that that kind of thought that what if it's not the same for next year, right? And yes, I was supposed to go this year, but I wasn't able to. I am so hoping that next year, you know, there is still going to be one because like you said, I think it's best to just meet everybody around the event instead of
Yeah.
actually buying a ticket or being a speaker, because like you said, I did see a few like Brooklyn NFTs when she was speaking, or with any like a few other speakers, the room was a little empty. And then there was
Yep.
some influencers that were live, and the seats were also empty. So I think there's a lot of hype around it, but also how are you able to kind of like go around those events and find these events that you were able to be part of without going to the conference? Was
Well,
it
I
like
think the conference was actually. Sorry, go ahead.
did you find people like on the in the streets, or did you guys kind of like coordinate and text each other and say, hey, let's go over here kind of thing? Like,
Yeah, I think if you show up alone, it's not going to be very fun. I think that's why I'm so big on content. I was talking this with Lisa yesterday on Twitter Space. I think unless you're a content creator and you're very well networked in the space, like you know the people, like there's probably 30 to 50 TikTokers that I'm aware of on TikTok who make NFT content, and it's like a family of sort kind of thing, like a family feel because we all see each other's content. Like on TikTok, I'm scrolling to see like kind of what's going on and what people are interested in talking about, and so I think with that aspect, you kind of I knew that everyone was there. And so basically the goal was to meet up with them and see what they were up to. And so if I could, I would try and meet up with them at certain places. But if you don't know anyone going in, man, I don't know. I don't know about that one. I mean, I'm not sure what you would get out of it. I mean, people who are interested in NFTs and that being the only similarity, that's not a whole lot to go off of, to be honest. It's just like, that's like saying I like gambling and being like, all right, cool. But like if you're not a content creator and you're not like you don't know these people a little bit, you haven't seen some of their content about who they are as a person, there's not a whole lot you're gonna get out of it. And so that's why I was so big on networking and not networking, but like making friends in the social realm while we're in this NFT world. I think that's the most important thing, and that really came to light at NFT NYC because that's what mattered. It's who you knew. Like I rolled up with Nikki G and all the big YouTubers, and like they're the reason I got in everywhere. Wherever they were going, I got in with them, and it's just because I knew them and they liked me. And so I think if you're going to go to an event like that, you have to roll up with your friends and have signed up for some events, even if you're not sure you can go. That way, if you decide to go, you can. Some of them were like a little bit more exclusive, feel like you could not get in without your invite. Um, and so I think I had like three that I was like, I'm gonna try and go to these, like three events that I had known prior, and I just basically made sure to get my invite and had that pulled up. And other than that, you just show up to random places. It's gonna be about who you know. And but I mean, a lot of the projects were public. You could get in. I'm not sure. Like, I guess everything I look at is through the lens of a content creator, and so it's really about who you know when you get there. And when I got there, I didn't have any plans. I just was my only plans were to see my friends, and so wherever they were going, I was just going to go with them or try to get in with them.
mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, in that kind of realm, NFT NYC, it kind of matters who you are. It does kind of matter who you are. I'm not gonna lie. It did have that sort of feel, and like with the Hape event, for example, like you had to know someone who was like deep in that ecosystem to actually even be considered to get in. And even if you did, you still might not get in, kind of thing. And it was just like it was that kind of thing. But I kind of just showed up and things happened when I got there, which is what I expected to happen. I think all the people who showed up kind of did that same thing. But
Right.
it was good. It was a lot of fun.
I personally like had like you said, a little network of people wanting to know, like, hey, are you gonna go? That way we can meet up, or even like get together and rent out an Airbnb or get into a hotel together. Of course, I wasn't able to, but that is definitely a thing where you do have to kind of like network with people before you do go, because you do have to know a little bit of people to be able to kind of enjoy yourself. Those are some
Yeah,
great tips. Yeah, those are some great tips though, because like you said, just going to the event in itself is probably boring as hell. So going to the events around it and meeting with your friends, that's the way to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. What's up, Ed? Thanks for the crown. I appreciate. She's became a top viewer for donating 1 crown. I don't even know what that means. Thank you, Ed. No, yeah, I agree. The event was cool. It was more about the vibes when you get there, and that's how it is with everything. That's how I build my own brand online. It's just about that, and it works. It just takes a long time. Like I read this quote in a book. It's basically like on a long enough time horizon, those people that focus on the things that are important will eventually win at some point. And I just believed in that since 10 months ago, and I didn't change my brand, even though the viewers were looking at a different thing at that point. I knew that it was important that I build now, and at some point when the market changes, it'll be me who comes out on top. But it took 10 months of buffer for that to actually come true, like literally 10 months before I even had conversations about sponsorships and partnerships and stuff like that. That's just what it takes to kind of get to that point, depending on what you're trying to do. And what I was trying to do, I was trying to curate like a very specific kind of audience, one that was educated, that wasn't a bunch of 15-year-old kids asking me for money. I didn't want that at all. I was like, I'd rather not have an audience than that. That's just not fun. And so it just takes longer. It takes 10 times longer. But it was okay. I mean, I like doing the podcast. I like making videos. I made videos for 10 years. And so I know what it's like to make videos that get no views because I did that all the way up until last year. Like that was literally my life. And so I have no problem doing that even now with an audience. I have no problem making videos that won't do well. If it means contributing to my brand and building my IP and my rapport with people who watch and stuff like that. And that's where I think most people, they don't think it's as important as it is. Like I don't understand why they don't see that. I guess it's common sense to me now because I've been doing it for so long. But like for example, like when I do a podcast with founders and I'm like, hey, your mint's coming up. Let's do your podcast now. It's a great time to drive awareness a little bit and talk about it and talk about your shortcomings. And almost every time they're like, no, we should wait till after. It's too busy. I don't have all the answers. I'm like, you don't understand. That's the point. It's not to like have all the answers. It's to show your face. And they're like, it's not the right time. I couldn't. And I'm like, oh man, this is not good. Like, this is not good. You have to be on point with this. It doesn't make any sense. And it's the same with video content. I was talking to Tom about this today on our podcast. He was like, I want to do all these things. So I'm like, Tom, you're telling me this on my podcast every week. Yet on your channel, I have never heard you mention that ever. If I was your fan, I wouldn't even know that these are the things you want to do. The only way I would have known is by watching my show with you. And I was like, that's not good. I was like, you should have videos all over your page talking about what you want to do. That's why I upload so many freaking videos on YouTube. I'm posting like 10 videos a day on TikTok because like every bit of it matters. And you don't know who's going to watch your video. And right now, the answer is volume. And if you're going to deny that, it's fine. But you're just not going to see the growth you want. And you're not going to see the success that you want to have. Because there's people out there who see everything you see and want all the things you want, and they're putting in that volume. That means they're going to win. Like Tom Billy says that before. He's like, you can work smart, but I'm going to work smarter and I'm going to work harder. So I'm going to beat you every time. And I was just like, that is how it goes. It's cutthroat in the social media world.
Right. I think that's a model that I've been kind of modeling here lately is if I have the energy to do it, why not? Like, okay, you might get tired of seeing me, but at least, one of the videos out of the 10 are going to resonate with you, right? So Definitely put yourself out there, put as many videos as you can. It is a little exhausting at times, but not to like disencourage anybody, but when you do have the energy, why not do it, right? It's all going to depend on how you are able to do things on your end. But yes, definitely.
Well, the thing is with that, the thing with the content side that I don't know if I do so much self-auditing and I try and practice as much self-awareness, not so much like a woo-woo self-awareness, but more like is this the right thing? Is this the way I should be spending this time? Is this piece of content really worth it? Should I spend time here? Because my time is becoming more and more important as I keep growing. And so I do a lot of self-auditing. I'm like, is this really worth it? And the thing is, what I noticed with TikTok is even with my friends or random people that I watch their videos, I probably skip 70% of them. I look at the first 2 seconds and I forget to like the video because I'm just not thinking about it. Or I'm not interested in that right now. At 2:30 in the afternoon, I'm like, nope, I want to see something else. I see something else. With TikTok, there's so many videos that I just catch myself in that little cycle. And so the only way to combat that to where I'll actually see it is for you to make 5 of those videos. Because one of those I might click and actually watch the whole thing. But if you only make one, I bet you 9 times out of 10 I'm gonna skip it. But not because it's personal. I'm just not paying attention, you know. But if you make five, and one of them is a talking one of them is one with words on the screen, one of them is like a 5 second video, one's a 30 second video. I'll watch one of those. I guarantee I'll see one of them. But you have to make all five, right? And
Right.
that's the problem. What's up, Seattle NFT Museum? How's it going, fam? I just walked past your building earlier today.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, but you're right. You're right about that. Making that content, and it's not personal. It's just that you are eager to see something. Like your brain doesn't know what it wants to see, but when it sees it, it catches it, right? So yeah,
Yeah.
totally understand that aspect of it. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So what is your how do you think you have provided the most value to the community?
I would say my reviews. That's where my
Yep.
brand was built originally. My fifth video, I think, was like something to do with Shamdu, this influencer on Twitter. Like Shamdu's project is exploding, and it like went viral. Not my video, but the project was going viral all of a sudden, and it happened like an hour before like an hour before it happened, and I was like, oh my god. So I threw together a video, edited it super quick, posted it, and it just like capitalized on the timing. And I was like, whoa, people are interested in like the drama side of NFTs. And at this point, nobody was making drama videos. There was nobody making media content, nobody making news. So I like to say I grandfathered that because I feel like I did. Because there were a few big YouTubers. So John Carlos out there, NFT Verse was out there, a couple other people, but none of them were really making that kind of content. And so I was really the first person to kind of coin like the NFT market updates. And I remember because at some point they started to make those videos, and I was like, son of a bitch, god damn it. But it's fine. And that was kind of like at first it was the reviews. So I would go through a project and just do a full audit, like an entire review on the breakdown of the project, and see if it was bullshit or not. Because everyone was making what's it called, promos. And so I was
Right.
like, okay, well, promos are great. You make money from promos, but if everyone's making promos, that means the value is going to go down. No, it's not going to be. You're not going to get as much money, and it's kind of shitty in my opinion because you don't care. You just want the money from it, and it's not a brand deal. It's an asset that people buy and lose money on most of the time. I was like, it's not the same as a brand deal, so I can't really do that and feel good about myself. And so I said, but I can do my reviews where it's honest, and I'll just do a bunch of those and see where that takes me. And a few weeks later, or a few months later, project reached out that was new and said, "Hey, we'd love to. We seen all your reviews. We want to pay you for an audit. You don't have to say it's good. You don't have to tell people to mint. You don't have to. You just have to review our project." And I said, "Okay, that I can do that." And so I started doing those, and those really took off. I started doing them for new projects, for established projects, all projects all across the realm. And I started to just give back in like the educational aspect and trying to get people to, everyone says do your own research, but like package it in a way where it's like you watching my video is 75% of the research that you need to do. And so it gives them just like a really, really good place, or like just a good foothold on a project and a good foothold on the market in general. And I think like with my channel, I feel like I earn all my subscribers in the sense that I truly feel that they get more out of it watching my videos than not. Like I truly believe that if you spend a month watching my channel, you'll be much, much better off than if you hadn't watched my channel as far as just in general on the NFT market. And I think as long as my channel is that's true for my channel, then I think I'm in the green, and I think I just keep going with that. But it's definitely, my brand was built on the reviews, and that's where I got all my reviews come from word of mouth and other people watching my channel. Like I've never reached out to a project for any kind of review. I don't know how other people get them. Like I don't know if other YouTubers reach out to get promos, or if they always get reached back, or if other people reach out to them for the promos. But I've never reached out for a project for a review that was paid, and so that's something I've always wanted to maintain. I just believe in the word of mouth. I believe that money comes to you if you believe it, and the manifesting stuff. And so I just take care of my shit, do my thing, and I think the rest of it just takes care of itself.
I think so too. I think being able to, kind of take care of that aspect of it and focus on that aspect of, doing what you need to do, everything else comes to you. When you're so focused on, I guess what people call it nowadays is monetizing or numbers or things like that. You kind of get lost within that kind of journey when you don't have a cause or a purpose, right? So
Yeah.
within that, I believe that you have learned a lot with your journey, right? So can you tell us a little bit about like the challenges and what you've learned through those challenges?
In NFTs, you think, or in like the content YouTube world?
I mean, in any aspect of your journey, like what is the biggest challenge you faced, either in NFTs and or uh, or just podcasting it's in itself?
Um, I think the biggest lesson I've learned is how much compounded effort pays off, and that's something I knew to be true always. I've always known that, but to be here in real time, like within the last 10 days type deal, I know it's true now because I'm in the conversations now, and I'm being followed now, and given the green lights by bigger people that you have to work your way up to get to that point, and I've finally worked my way up after 10 months of daily uploads. I'm like, okay, like I finally earned my way into the big leagues I'm in. um, Dope, like it worked fantastic. Like I'm glad it works because now I'm like living breathing proof that it's not bullshit. It's not some dream anymore. I mean, it's still a dream, but there's a little bit of proof back behind it now, and it's not like some bullshit. You know, I can talk as if I've done it because I have walked it, and so that's been good for me. And it's been good for the people who watch my channels. A lot of people who stuck around since the beginning. Like in my Discord, some of my most active people have been most active since the beginning of the Discord back in June of last year. So like about a year ago, I started that Discord, and still some of those OG people are in there still, and they support me so much. And it's been amazing, and the fact that they've been here since the beginning, and they wouldn't have joined and stayed in my Discord if they didn't believe that. So it's cool seeing that the belief was there, and I was able to pull it off. And you know, the ceiling's infinite. Like it literally is infinite. I truly believe that. There's no stopping at this point. Like I just know the power of brand now. I watch the power of brand. And so my biggest lesson would be that there's certain people that you look up to, and if you can audit yourself and ask yourself if those are the right people to watch, at least, and if they are, and if that's what you want, if that's the kind of audience you want, that's the kind of content you like making, that's the type of brand you like, that's the type of morals that they have that you want to uphold as well in your own brand, then you do a lot of the things they do, and you just do that shit. Like Tom Bilyeu, Impact Theory, daily or not daily, but like super consistent podcasts, talk about a variety of different subjects, but the core message is the same. It's do your shit, show up every day, and put in the work. Like that's the core message there. Gary Vee is the same. Layla Hormoz is the same. Like a lot of people I look up to do the same model. And I was like, okay, well, I can just put my own spin on it and just apply my own principles, and it should work at some point. And they always talk about it. Like it takes a while. They're all in their 30s and 40s. Like all my people I look up to growing up when I was like 15 to 20, they were all late 20s, and now they're in their mid 30s. And I'm like, oh, okay, so that's about right. That's about right. Like now I'm 24. I'm about to be 24, and I assume at the point where I'm like balling out, I should be my late 20s. I assume like maybe 30s. So I'm like, okay, that's right about on time. Like that's about what it was. And so I just know that you stay the course. You stay the course, and you put in high quality work, and the belief, I guess for me, has been built every time I take a risk, a big risk, and I survive. And I'm like, wow, I could do that. And you realize after you do a couple of those, you know, that first risk is really scary, and you can build up to that. Like on my YouTube channel, if you go back a year, there's a series on my main channel where I basically said I want to do van life. I'm gonna quit my jobs. I'm gonna make this travel thing work. I don't fucking know. And
Yeah.
so I basically built up to that for like 6 weeks or something. I ripped apart my car, turned it into a mobile home type deal, and eventually the final step was fuck. All right, quit my job and go, I guess. And so at that point, I was like, man, I'm ready to go. Like I put in the work. I turned my car over into a home basically, and I bought all the things I need to buy. I planned out my trip. The easiest part now is leaving. And so it was just like a switch, like, okay, let's do this. And once you do that for yourself, it's like it's not something you really notice. It's not like you do it and you're like, fuck yeah, like I'm the
Yeah.
best. It's just, you have like a moment maybe where you're like, fuck yeah, I did it. But you don't truly believe that you're the best. And then you start to do stuff. And, you know, 6 months later, you look back, you're like, holy shit, I just did all that because of that one decision. And then a few months later, you're able to make another jump. And if you can do that, you show yourself that you are capable of anything. And I think through those two more symbolic gestures, because they weren't particularly impressive, like, okay, I quit my jobs and I traveled in a car and I moved to another city. Like, I mean, that's cool, but that's not like earth shattering, unbelievable. But in your head, like mentally and subconsciously for you, that's really powerful, and it transcends everything. And so to the point where now, when I say something ludicrous, like I want to knock off Joe Rogan from the number one spot on podcasting, that's absolutely fucking stupid. But I truly believe in my head I can do that. I don't know if it actually will happen, but in my head,
Right.
I'm like, that's absolutely not in the scope of like impossibility. Like I can pull that off. But that wasn't the case a year ago. Like, I may have said that, but I wouldn't have actually believed it. And I think just stacking those wins on top and top, and telling yourself that you're doing well, and changing that little voice inside your head for now, or changing the little voice inside your head that's always doubting everything, and you get better and better at managing that voice and being empathetic toward that one that's constantly like berating you and just like breaking you down all the time. It builds and to a point where if you stood up to yourself at some point, a little while later, you will be able to be stronger from that. It's just about facing yourself. And so I just want to make sure I'm pushing that brand and continuing that shit.
Right. I totally resonate with that because if you are not familiar with, kind of what I do is bring that mental health awareness. And I do feel like a lot of times, a lot of people do not go forward with their dreams or goals because their mind plays tricks on them. And I have to really put it out there that, yeah, it does happen, but you have to try to figure out a way to kind of get up and overcome that, because also that can hinder, your dreams or your work. Yes, you do have to work twice as hard. Yes, like you said, you do have to put in the work. And if you don't put in the work, don't expect results, because you're not going to get there. So just off of that, I feel also that your support system, even if it's one person, like feeding you and telling you you can do this subconsciously, you can do it. I think that some sort of support system with mental health can also help you reach those goals. So yeah, it was yeah. And I really commend you, because from what you're saying, you had a lot of those times, and you have to work really hard to overcome that, and kind of like fight within yourself to be able to overcome those goals and feelings that you have to. But also identifying the feeling, identifying it, working through it is very important, because if you hold it in and you don't know how to identify it or get through it, it's really hard. So
yeah, and it's not even for me. It wasn't even about overcoming yet. Overcoming comes way later. For me, it was just about managing and doing stuff in spite of being anxious. Like, that was a podcast I did with Easton that kind of changed my life. He was like, "Well, you just have to go in there anxiously and pull it off. You just have to just show up anyway and anxiously pull it off, or depressedly pull it off, or unconfidently pull it off anyway." And that was kind of powerful for me, because I was like, "Oh, so I can just show up and also be anxious. I don't have to pick one or the other. I can't. If I'm anxious, I can't go. I guess like that's not how it works. Like, you just do it anyway." And that was really powerful for me, because I was like, "Oh, okay. So I can show up to a podcast terrified and still pull it off. I don't have to wimp out just because I'm anxious. I can just accept that I'm anxious and roll with it anyway. And it might be shitty, but at least next time it happens, I'll have shown myself that I could do it and I pulled it off. And I think eventually over time you say, "Oh shit." Like, it's just not as crippling as I thought it was, and you just be able to, like, I don't know if I ever overcame it. It's just like, it's just there, but it's not like berating me anymore. It's just kind of like in there, and I'm like, it's still there, and it still creeps up every now and then. But it's more about like the fact that I know I can handle it, even though it's there, because I've pulled it off. Like, I have done it. Like, I've been in podcasts where I was not prepared or something, and it still came out okay, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm fine. I'm totally fine. It's like once you learn how to swim, you get dropped in the middle of the ocean, or you get dropped in the middle of a pool. Like, okay, if you get dropped in the ocean, you're probably fucked. But if you get dropped somewhere you weren't expecting to have to swim, you're like, well, I can still swim, so I'm literally fine. And that's kind of how I look at it.
So basically, yeah, you're right as far as that aspect where you're never gonna like get through it, but you get through those little humps. So you know how you are, you know how your body reacts to certain situations, but the most important thing is to take that leap. Go ahead and do it, and once you get there, you're basically gonna go with the flow. So it's like when what you said about NFT NYC, like, you didn't plan it. You just went ahead and went, and whatever came to you, you just dealt with it. And I think that's just life in itself, how it is. Like, you just have to go ahead and take that risk. Go ahead and take it, and whatever comes your way, just hit with it. So yeah, I mean, that's how it should be, and that's how, I mean, nothing is perfect, nothing is like planned. I can plan like for this perfect way of how I want my journey to look, but when you get there and when you go through those hurdles, that's what's going to determine how and how far you get and what you accomplish is what I'm trying to say.
Exactly.
But yeah,
Exactly. It's kind of like when you show up. Like if you show up and you put yourself in that situation, that's like a lot of times the main. That's like the main catalyst for a lot of things. Like if you really, really want a girlfriend or a boyfriend, but you never leave your room, it's like, yeah, you're never gonna get a boyfriend or girlfriend if you never leave your room. If you had known that, like, if you just walked outside to like your street corner, that there's a dude and a girl who pass every other day, your chances are now 50% instead of 0%. And it's all about just showing up to the place. And that, like, I think, like, if you have like if you didn't go to NFT NYC and you're looking at it from a perspective of someone who missed it, and you're what's the word, introverted, you're shy, and you're like, man, if I had shown up, it would have been bad, and that's your mentality. And then you look at my story where I say I just showed up and things happened, and you're like, yeah, but that could never happen. It's like, no, 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 but it would have happened if you had showed up. It would have happened. It's like I made this in a podcast, a reference that I always make. It's like if you're scared of heights, you would never end up on top of a bungee. For like if there was a building, a bungee, like a bungee jump, you would never get up there because you're afraid of heights. You never would have showed up. But say someone snapped their fingers and you're now at the edge of the building and someone is like pushing you over and now you're about to fall. Well, now you have no choice but to deal with it because you're right there. And that's kind of how I look at it. Like if you were really anxious, really shy, but someone snapped their fingers and now you're in the middle of an NFT NYC conference, well, you better figure something out because you're just going to sit there and do nothing otherwise. And it's like, that's how I look at it. That's really how I look at it.
That's a very good way to kind of break it down and explain it. Like I said, putting yourself in there and out there, and then dealing with it later. It's like making a mistake and ask for forgiveness later, right? Kind of thing. So
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah, totally,
Totally
resonate with that. So just to kind of recap, if you don't have anything else for me, you're welcome to ask me anything. I have a few fun questions just to close out the but yeah, I really enjoyed this. I really enjoyed how very open and very just like you said, just do it, and life will take you to the right direction. And honestly, like I've had this thing too where if people don't resonate with, let them. I mean, you're not going to change who you are in that particular stage in your life. Like, say you do go and people didn't like you, or people did like you. You're not going to change who you are just because you want to satisfy whoever is there or whatever they're doing. So totally, yeah. Just be yourself. Get out there and deal with the environment. You have to adjust your environment in order to kind of do what you want to do. So
yeah, and if you're someone who, if you're acting your own true self, yeah, you're right. You're not going to change. If you're acting as a false front, that's a little bit different. Then maybe you should change because you're being an asshole. But if you are being your true self, and especially if you have people who do fuck with you, then you're almost doing them a dishonor by changing because of haters. It's like, yeah, but they like you, so why would you pander to someone who doesn't even like you? That doesn't even make sense to you. That makes no sense. You have people who do support you and do believe in you, and it's literally a dishonor and a disservice to those people because you're like, wow, those people believed in me, and I'm turning my back on those people who like me to pander to someone who doesn't like me, who doesn't even care enough to, like, they're not going to care. Even if you did change, they wouldn't care. They'd be like, okay. They would just find another thing. They'd be like, wow, you changed yourself to, like, pander to someone who doesn't even like you. Like, they just find something else to hate. So it's so irrelevant to your own brand for the haters. Like, it's fine. It makes no difference. Like, there's people out there who don't watch content to learn, and they don't watch content to grow. I've always watched content to grow and learn. I know, but there's people who don't. They just go there for pure entertainment. And in that same token, there's people who leave hate comments who don't actually care. They don't actually hate you. They're just fucking with you. They're just memeing on you, and it's like you never know which ones are real. So it's like there's no point. They're not gonna watch your video response. They're not gonna even read your comment response back. Or if they do, they're just gonna clown on you again for getting your attention. And so it's more or less like that's part of the game, and it's just over time, over the next few months, you just get more and more used to it. and it's just one of those things, man. It's just one of those things.
I think once you reach that hump of people you getting trolls and stuff, you kind of know where you're at in your life. Where, oh my God, I'm starting to get trolls and stuff. So you kind of have to be strong minded and kind of like the thing that people say. God doesn't give you things that you cannot handle. So you're building up to that, right? And once you get there and you're able to take it, basically, per se, take it, in your mind that there's just people that they do that for a living or they do that for entertainment. So they'll be out there creating accounts just for that purpose, which has nothing to do with you, So yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. So kind of like to wrap up. What is your preferences on Batman or Robin? These are just fun questions.
Oh man, I like Batman. I've always gravitated toward. I think it's because, oh man, we're about to get like super deep by accident here with Batman.
Yeah.
I guess the first Batman I ever watched was the George Clooney one with it was called Batman and Robin, I think, and it was with like an Iceman or something. It was an old movie on VHS, and I because my dad's super dope. He's cool. I know him more. I understand him more than I did before because I'm older now. But he's terrible at communication, like just miserably bad at communication. He's really good for his job. He's literally a communicator for his job. He's like top tier #1 manager. So like that's all he does. But since that's all he does, when he gets home, he doesn't fucking feel like talking, I guess. So when I was growing up, you'd like share something at the table, he just would look at you or something, or he'd just like scoff, or he never really said much. And so I just kind of like took that. I think when you're a kid, you just take that and you internalize it, and you're like, okay, well, I guess nothing I say is like particularly that impressive or whatever. And so there wasn't like a father figure that I looked for. Like he was very good at like being a guardian, but not particularly good at fostering your emotional side or being like a father figure in that sense as much, where I was able to actually understand it. We just had different communication styles. And so with Batman and Robin, it was kind of that same dynamic as like Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan in Star Wars, like the father who was a father figure, but also good at communicating that to the person who's smaller. So Robin's like this little annoying kid who just does dumb shit, and Batman has to like reprimand him. And I think I was just like missing out on that like communication factor. So I've always like gravitated toward those characters in movies too, and that's why I also gravitated toward YouTubers. And that's kind of how I look at for my own channel. Like I want to be that person who is good at communicating, so that I can get my thoughts out that I think will help people who are who are looking for that kind of content or looking for that kind of person, and actually help them in that sense. And so for that reason, Batman.
Yeah. Okay, so cats or dogs?
I used to be. Oh man, I never had a cat, so I'm down to have a cat. I've gotten more and more open to the idea of cats. I think growing up, I was just in a dog home, but I fuck with both. I think if I could find the right cat who is cool and doesn't hurt me and isn't like mad at me all the time, that's the only experience I have with cats before. But I know a lot of people with cats. They're way less maintenance, and I'm not sure. I think I'm down to try a cat first before a dog for sure. I feel like it's just way easier. That's what I've heard at least, but who knows?
Yeah, I think they it's very low maintenance on the cats, but I am a dog person.
Really?
Okay, so if you were to have someone play your role as Cade in Hollywood, who would you pick as an actor to play your role?
Oh man, that's hard. That's hard because I'm so young. I'm trying to think of like I'm trying to think of like a young actor that would make sense, because all the ones that come to mind are like 50, like Matthew McConaughey age. Huh? That was hard. Maybe
that could
maybe
kind of,
what's his name?
yeah.
Who's the guy? Who's the guy who played in Good Will Hunting? The kid. What's his name?
Google
Hold on.
hunting
I'm gonna look it up.
kid. I can look it up.
It was hold on. Goodwill Hunting characters. It's like a famous dude. Why am I forgetting his name? All right, Goodwill Hunting characters. We've got Matt Damon. So Matt Damon as a kid, especially in that movie, just kind of like I don't know, trying and just failing and trying and failing, trying and failing, trying and failing is kind of how I felt growing up. Just like it didn't feel like nothing felt good. Everything was kind of like shitty in a mental spot, and so I just kind of like I don't know. I remember when I watched Good Will Hunting, I felt very. I was able to understand and empathize with that character. I think a lot of people could, but I think him at that age would be able to play my character in my movie like perfectly. That's the only one that comes to my mind.
Awesome, awesome. Hey, there's no right or wrong answer for these. But
Someone said Justin Bieber on my side.
I know, so, somebody did say Justin Bieber on my side too. What when you were like 10 years old, and I know, a lot of people I came across with really had these dreams to be somebody, and of course things do not, play out the way you always think, and this is when we always speak about you go with the flow, right? But when you were 10 years old, what did you aspire to be when you grew up?
I wanted to be the hero, just in general, like the movie, like The Mummy, like Journey to the Center of the Earth. With like Brandon Fraser was my favorite actor growing up. Do you reckon? Do you know him? Hold on, I'll show you. I just typed his name in, just so I can find a photo. This dude from The Mummy.
Oh yes, yes, yes. I know
Yeah, that
him.
was like my favorite show. I love that show. I
Right.
love Egypt also because of that movie, that trilogy. And so characters like that. I think it was probably like I don't know if it was actor, but it was just someone who like I would have been like people I looked up to who are like that style where you just get shit done and you go in spite of bullshit and you just go and you make things happen anyway. And so I think there's more of that style of person, and that's something I wanted to be. And when I was 10, I just didn't see a path where I could be that, and so I was just like, "Fuck!" I guess I just kind of like wished it would be one day, or one day I would just be someone who could be capable of that. And so now I'm at a point where I've taken the risks that take me to a point where I am able to kind of embody that more and give back to that 10-year-old version of myself. So I would say it was just to be someone who was capable of taking care of their shit. I just felt very helpless growing up. I felt I was very not in control. You know, even if I was doing my best, I never felt like I would actually get retribution for it. I was always looked over. You know, if there was like a kickball game, I somehow was picked last, even though I was one of the best kicking a soccer ball. So I didn't get why I was always like looked over. And so I think I just wanted to be someone who wasn't looked over when I was older, and that's kind of like what I always aspired to be when I was probably I think 10. That's probably around that age.
Right. I think that's a lot of the artists and creatives that are around in the space as well. They they all can resonate with being looked over and being the outcast per se, or if you will, because um, being in real life, there's struggles with especially introverts that cannot like speak up, or when they do speak up, they look at them like, who do you think you are? You've never spoken up before, and now they look at you
Yeah,
like you're like a nobody. So definitely do resonate with that as well, because yeah, I think everybody should have an opportunity to give their gift or give their skills and possibly bring value to those people that might need that skill. But yeah, that kind of brought me back to. But yeah, that's amazing. And yeah, I think that would be it for today. If you don't have anything else for me, but I
no, we
like
just
to.
crushed it. No, we gone through a lot of shit. We gone through a lot of shit. I hope your NFT experience. I mean, are you more sticking in the Web3 NFT world, or are you trying to break into podcasting in general?
I am trying to break into podcast transition, but I'm still going to be in the NFT world, just because I have this project that I have cause and what is it called? I'm losing my word process, but I have cause and purpose behind my project, and even though it's not like big like other projects, I still feel like there's a purpose that I can serve, even the community. So I will still be creating and doing that, but also like making these videos as a podcast. I will be doing the podcast like once a week, or twice every other week or something. But Right now I have it weekly, so I am hoping I can transition into that very seamlessly, as I love it as well. So definitely very bright future is what I think is coming.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Love it. Love it. Love it. That was awesome. Well, thank you for having me on the show. I had a good time. I love sitting chit chatting, especially TikTok live. It's just very relaxed, casual. I like TikTok lives. I did a Twitter space yesterday with Lisa, and it was fine. I mean, I love Lisa. I would have much rather talked to her in person, but honestly, I just don't have a lot of TikTok, or I don't have a lot of Twitter space experience. So that's the only
Right.
reason we did it there. I would have much rather have been able to talk to her in person or see her face, at least on camera. And so that's just the way I prefer to do it. So it was a good time. It was a good time to chat and get back on TikTok live grind.
Right. I love it too. And I just want to say thank you, Kate, for giving me your time and for being here. I really enjoyed it. And let's stay connected. Anybody that would like to that doesn't know you and would like to get a hold of you, what is your best way of getting a hold of you and kind of connecting with you?
If you type in my name, I don't think there's that many people who are Cade Bergman. So if you type in my name anywhere on Google or YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, it'll pop up somewhere. It's got the photo of my PFP up there with the glasses.
Yeah.
That's pretty much standard across all platforms. I keep it the same, so it's gonna be something like this.
I gotta get a screenshot of
So,
that.
hold on.
Okay. But yeah,
So yeah, you'll see it if you just type in my name.
Yeah, guys, there you have it, Kate Bergman, and I thank you for being here. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and see you next week, guys.
Peace. Bye.
Peace. Bye.